Yo, what's up? Just wanted to talk about the co-feature bout that was in the Manchester Arena here on May 1st with the lightweight championships on the line there. Katie Taylor against Natasha Jonas. This is a rematch from back in the Olympics, years ago. And, with Katie Taylor, having the upper hand in that particular bout. And here we are years later with Katie Taylor coming in as the undisputed lightweight champion. Natasha Jonas, had the great fight last year against Terry Harper. That was at super featherweight. It was a split draw there, and it was pretty much one of the better fights of 2020. So that put her in position to have a fight against old rival Katie Taylor, and it was one of the fights that a lot of people were looking forward to in this fight card that was headlined by Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. And it just ended up being a great fight, great as expected, very close, and it ended up being unanimous decision win for Katie Taylor. She does stay unbeaten, goes to 18-0, and retains those lightweight titles. It was a great back and forth between these two fighters here with Taylor and Natasha Jonas. Taylor was coming in there being very aggressive, the quicker fighter. Was throwing a lot of combinations early, but Jonas was, getting in there very gritty and, had pop behind her punch. And that was what she was getting into within those first few rounds. Worked the body a little bit in the third round to get, herself back into the fight. It was Katie Taylor, just being a more, I would say, with the boxing skill, throwing more jabs and being a little bit more accurate in this particular bout. But Jonas was, definitely in this particular fight. Caught Taylor a good amount of times with her left hand as she's a southpaw. And I thought had Taylor buzzed a couple of times, and I felt could have followed up and really had Taylor in some trouble there in this particular bout. But they had a couple of great rounds over the tail end of this particular fight. But it was, Katie Taylor there getting the upper hand, and the scores, I guess they had a couple of, 1-10-10 round in two judges' scorecards. And that, just shows how close this thing was. The last particular round, it just looked like either it was a toss-up or something where Taylor, if Taylor got that last round, that would have been the difference in this particular fight. But it just showed how close it was. For those that, were watching it, they just said, man, this was, another great fight, one of the better fights of this year so far. But with Taylor getting herself this victory, she stays the undisputed lightweight champion. She'll, have, I guess, another fight coming up in later this year. Of course, we had talk about her fighting Serrano last year before the whole thing with the lockdowns and stuff like that. But that fell through. But we'll see if that particular fight could be made in the near future there. So that is something that we are going to, look out for here when it comes to Katie Taylor. But if not, then, hey, maybe we could have a rematch with Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas. But that is what I got in reference to this particular fight. We will have more news and notes when it comes to the sport of boxing. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And we'll have more content here, and also check out the podcast that's available on iTunes. With that, I'm out. Peace.